Nearly 2,000 balloons, a 70% failure rate, 0 German planes destroyed, 1 landed in Buckingham Palace, several drifted to France, and 1 British policeman who tied live bombs to his bicycle handlebars and rode home. Welcome to the bunker. I'm Professor Von Blunder, and tonight we're talking about Britain's most spectacular act of self-bombardment, the Free Balloon Barrage. Picture this. It's 1940. The Blitz is hammering London every single night. 200 German bombers are turning the city into rubble. The Prime Minister calls a midnight meeting at number 10 Downing Street. Everyone's exhausted. The nation is desperate. And some absolute genius, stands up and says, "I've got it. We'll launch thousands of hydrogen balloons carrying bombs and piano wire into the sky above London. The wire will tangle the German planes. The bombs will explode. It's foolproof." Now, if you were defending London from bombers, what would you do? Build more fighters? Improve radar? Train more pilots? Nope. Britain decided to fill the sky above its own capital with floating explosives attached to 2,000 feet of wire and hope for the best. Timmy, grab the hydrogen tank. We're doing a demonstration. And yes, I know you're still recovering from last week. Stop complaining. Let me paint you a picture of this masterpiece of military engineering. Each Free Balloon Barrage unit consisted of a large rubber balloon filled with hydrogen. Hanging from that balloon was a yellow metal container shaped like a biscuit tin, a massive wooden spool carrying 2,000 feet of thin piano wire, and a parachute. Think of it like a landmine, except it floats, can drift anywhere, and has a 70% chance of landing on your own citizens. The theory was simple. You launch the balloon, it rises to a certain height. A special mechanism kicks in. The wire unspools and trails down behind the balloon, with the parachute anchoring the lower end. At the same time, the yellow container, which is actually a small but powerful bomb swinging on a board beneath the balloon, becomes armed. From this moment, any moving object that touches the wire sets off the bomb. In military engineering terms, that means they hung a live explosive from a hydrogen balloon and hoped it would only kill Germans. Brilliant. Timmy, inflate that demonstration balloon. Yes, I know it's hydrogen. Yes, I know we're indoors. Just do it. Now, here's where the plan gets even better. To make this work on December 29, 1940, they needed to transport enough hydrogen and equipment to launch nearly 2,000 of these things in one night. That required 800 lorries and trailers. 800. They mobilized an entire fleet of vehicles to haul floating bombs to the windward side of London, so the balloons would drift over the city and hopefully catch some Germans on the way. The operation was prodigious. The ambition was staggering. The confidence was unshakable. And absolutely nobody stopped to ask the most important question. What happens when 70% of them fail? Timmy, how's that balloon coming? Why is it leaking already? We haven't even attached the bomb yet. This is exactly what happened in 1940, except with 2,000 of them. Over London. December 29, 1940. The night of the big fire raid on London. The city is burning. German bombers are overhead, and Britain is about to make things so much worse. Nearly 2,000 Free Balloon Barrage units were launched into the sky in just 2.5 hours. The control team at Hatfield waited for reports, and then the reports started flowing in. And they confirmed everyone's worst fears. The launch area was divided into 3 zones to track where the balloons would drift. Zone A was closest to the launching site. 30% of the units failed immediately. The wire didn't run out smoothly. The balloons developed leaks. In tactical terms, that means 600 floating bombs just fell out of the sky onto the British countryside within minutes of launch. But wait, it gets better. Another 15% of the balloons climbed way beyond their operational height and burst. See, they had this ingenious height-keeping mechanism. Little bags filled with sand that were supposed to regulate altitude. In engineering terms, that means they tied sandbags to a hydrogen balloon and prayed. The balloons ignored the sandbags. climbed too high, and exploded from the pressure. Over London, that's another 300 units raining bombs and piano wire down on the city they were supposed to protect. Timmy, release the demonstration balloon. Careful with the wire. Timmy, the wire is tangling. Now it's swinging. Duck. See, this is exactly what happened. Now for Zone C, the farthest drift area. Another 30% came to grief. One unit landed in the grounds of Buckingham Palace. Several reached the south coast. And some, and this is my favorite part, crossed the English Channel and landed in France. Britain launched a surprise attack on France with balloons. While fighting Germany, the French must have been thrilled. Running tally, 600 failed at launch, 300 exploded over London, 600 crashed randomly, 0 German planes destroyed, and Timmy's tangled in piano wire. Perfect. Now, after you've scattered nearly 2,000 floating bombs across southern England, you need someone to clean up the mess. Enter the bomb disposal teams. One of them was a man named Tolman, who had made quite a name for himself in the Admiralty with his demonstrations titled How to Render an FBB Bomb Safe. In military safety terms, that means he'd stand in front of a room full of nervous officers and casually disarm live explosives while they prayed he didn't sneeze. He delivered these demonstrations with fearless confidence. His audience did not share that confidence. One day, Tolman received an SOS from the Dorset village of Piddletrenfide. Yes, that's a real place. A police constable reported some strange objects in his back garden. Tolman drove out in the Admiralty van, probably expecting another routine retrieval. He arrived at the constable's house and found 2 of the familiar yellow bomb containers lying side by side in the yard. Only 2 feet of wire still attached to each. Tolman asked, "Did they fall together just there?" The constable said proudly, "No, I put them there myself." Tolman stared at him. "But where is the rest of the wire?" The constable explained cheerfully that the objects had come down in a field about a mile away. So he cut off the wire and brought them back with him. He reckoned they'd be safer. Tolman asked, in what I imagine was a very strained voice, "How on earth did you move them here without blowing yourself up?" The constable peered at the containers with new interest. "You reckon these things are some sort of bomb, then?" He was obviously impressed. "I just tied them on the handlebars of my bike and rode back here." Let me repeat that. He tied 2 live bombs to his bicycle and rode a mile on cobblestones. What would you do if you found a mysterious yellow tin in a field? I'm guessing strap it to a bicycle wasn't your first thought. This man had the survival instincts of a moth. All right, let's bring out the stupidity meter and rate this disaster. Money wasted? Massive. They deployed 800 lorries, nearly 2,000 hydrogen balloons, thousands of feet of piano wire, and enough explosives to level a town. All to defend London by bombing London. Enemies killed. 0. Not a single confirmed German plane was brought down by the free balloon barrage. The only confirmed casualties were British property, British nerves, and 1 constable's common sense. Collateral damage to Timmy? Extensive. He's still wrapped in piano wire from the demonstration. I can hear him whimpering in the corner. Final score, 9 out of 10 on the stupidity meter. It loses 1 point only because the policeman survived, which suggests the bombs were even less effective than planned. This was a weapon that terrorized its own citizens, required Boy Scouts to retrieve live ordnance from the countryside, landed in Buckingham Palace, accidentally invaded France, and achieved absolutely nothing except proving that filling the sky with floating explosives above your own capital is a bad idea. So here's my question for you. If you had 800 lorries and 2,000 hydrogen balloons in 1940, what stupid weapon would you invent? Let me know in the comments. And someone please check on Timmy. I think he's still tangled in piano wire. Pray for Timmy.